What up, good people? It's your man Action Jackson. Hey, we go from one Jackson down in Baltimore to another Jackson in Dart up in New York. Harbaugh. I got my man Alex Shiver, my man Mac in the
Nice.
building. I know y'all know Mac. Hey,
Yeah.
look, Mac, with Harbs being your old coach,
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about what Alex can expect in Harbs.
So I think what you're getting now, you're getting a coach that, first of all, he does know how to win. We can't take nothing away from him, right? As much as Ravens fans was ready to see him go, it was bittersweet. Anybody who says different will be lying. You know what I mean? Like, we was all like, get him out of there. And then the minute they got him out of there, everybody was like, wait, hold on, y'all. Wait, hold on, y'all was serious, you know? But no, Harbs is a great coach. He's a great leader, great facilitator, but he's not one of them guys that's like, he's not a dictator. You know what I mean? I think he started his career off a lot like that. If you remember reports when we first hired him, Ray Lewis, they all had issues with him because of how he talked and because of how he was. You know what I mean? He was definitely like, you're going to do what I'm telling you to do. Let's lock in. This is how we going to run it. You know, Ed Reed said in a couple interviews that he walked out of several practices like, yeah, I don't know who this dude think he is. You know what I mean? He's not that. We on the latter stage, you know, found his walk with the Lord. If you hear him talk, he's very spiritual. You know what I mean? Very uplifting, but he's a great leader. And I definitely think he is a great fit for the Giants. I had said it before they had even said it. I said I thought that would be a good spot for him to go. So
Right.
yeah, that's a great leader right there.
It's good
Alex,
to hear. Good to
I
hear.
think that's what y'all needed, man. Y'all weren't really missing a lot.
I mean, when you look at the season, right? When all our people were healthy, I thought we had the best product on the field. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
We had Dart run all over the place. We had Malik Neighbors catching them little shorts and going 20, 30 yards. Had Scatterable headbutting concrete walls. I mean, I thought we had it looked good. You know, Wandale Robinson doing his thing in the flats and on the short routes. I mean, I thought it was good. Then one get hurt, then Scatterable got hurt, then Jackson Dart started catching concussions. So, and then our defense, never had a concern about our defense. I think the coaching was a concern, but we got so many weapons. Like as much as people want to talk about our offense, I actually think it's a blue blood, old school Giants defense that we got, but they need direction. And I think that's what we needed. I think we needed a coach that was about business. I think when you watch the, like, you know, NFC East was on HBO on what's the show on HBO? Hard Knocks. The NFC East was on there, and then we're coming off of them following us after the Saquon Barkley thing. So you got to see kind of how that back office was working things.
Okay.
And the one thing I always said was like, yeah, it sounds right, but John Mara would come in there and be like, hey, we shouldn't lose Saquon. I'm just letting you know. Like he said that on the video.
Yeah.
And Sean, you know, he was kind of like on the side, like, yeah, you my boss, but this my job. Like, oh, don't worry about it. They ain't gonna offer them this. They ain't gonna do this. And what they turned around and gave him money, like chump change. We could have gave him that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think we fall away. I think we needed direction. I think we needed somebody that can go in there and tell, whether it's John Mara, whether it's the GM, like, look, I understand what y'all saying, but I'm the only one in here that has a winning record in the last decade. I think I kind of know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think John Harbaugh is that type of dude.
So you got Harbaugh, possibly. We just gonna say he's in New York.
Yeah.
So you got Harbs there. There's rumblings that
It was Kafka.
Harbs wants to take Monken with him. I
Yeah.
know there's some contractual things that have to take place, but your offensive coordinator, was he fired? Or
No, he was the interim. He was the interim head coach. Put him and Dable in like that same. They don't have the experience to lead men. You know what I mean? We need somebody that can lead men.
Right.
You know what I mean? We need a Bill Parcells, a Bill Belichick. Like, yeah, I'm gonna play with you, but when it's time to get down to business, I'm gonna get down to business. You know, and I'm not gonna disrespect you, but we're gonna do our thing and we're gonna get this work. You know? And
we
that's the
spoke
piece,
earlier.
man. Yeah.
We spoke earlier, and you had a very good point, and you said we finally have somebody no longer sitting at the kids' table at Thanksgiving. Like I dug that. You know what I mean? Like, and Mac would always talk about Harv's just being, I guess you say, the coach's coach. You know, the man's man. He's gonna get in your face, but you'll appreciate it later.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So Mac, I want to ask you, with some free agents popping up, do you see anybody possibly following Coach Harbs up to New York?
Yeah. And it's going to pain me to say, but I can see Isaiah Likely, just because, first of all, we gave Mark Andrews the extension during the season, which nobody expected us to do. Everybody said we was going to let Mark run out, get rid of Mark at the end of the season. Isaiah Likely was going to be the new up-and-comer. But, Isaiah Likely had the broken foot, a couple costly mistakes, some fumbles, not holding on the balls in the end zone. Mark got the extension. I think there's a lot of question marks around Isaiah Likely. Now, obviously, DeAndre Hopkins is a free agent. Patrick Ricard is a free agent. Personally, though, I think Isaiah is probably the most likely of bigger names. Yeah. I don't think DeAndre Hopkins. I really see DeAndre staying. He came to Baltimore because of Lamar and because of Derek. And I think he's going to stay there. He didn't come for Harbs. You know what I mean? Me and Action, we've talked a few times about Marlon Humphreys. I think he still has juice in the tank, but I can see him potentially going. He loved Harbs. And he said on his own podcast how he was shocked and kind of hurt about losing Harbs, right? So I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see. I definitely think y'all will get a couple pieces. I don't want y'all to get Patrick Ricard. Isaiah Likely will hurt because I do think he is clutch, and I think Lamar likes him.
So if we flip that and ask you, Alex, with Likely being the most likeliest, see, I did that.
Yeah.
If he's the most likeliest, does he fit with your offense? Because you got a real nice tight end.
Yeah, we got Theo Johnson. We drafted two seasons ago. The thing is, I like Isaiah Likely a lot. I've had him on multiple fantasy football teams.
Yeah.
I'll compare him to Evan Ingram. So we had Evan Ingram, who is now blossomed into a beast, right? But we had him early. And I look at Isaiah Likely in the same vein where, you're a tight end, but we playing you like a wide receiver.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind taking him because with the Giants, we can never have too many tight ends. But again, we don't know who our offensive coordinator is. So I'm kind of saying that just off of how we played.
It's Todd. It's Todd Monken.
I think it's Todd too. But one of the issues I had with him in Baltimore was, and this is where I think Malik Neighbors may be like, whoa, what's going on? Baltimore wasn't known to have crazy receiving stats as far as their wide receivers doing.
But if you look at Zay Pro Bowler. I mean, you just make him Neighbors.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a Pro Bowler. He had over 1,000 yards.
Me and him might be the same size, though. Me and Zay may be the same size.
No, I know.
He running a four flat, but yeah.
But what I'm saying though is that if you look at the components, though, you got your quarterback, you got Dart, you got your running back, you got Neighbors. That's Zay Flowers.
We need more than one, though.
I agree.
This is what I would say about Todd that I would be concerned with as a Ravens fan. I think Todd is a good offensive mind. I wouldn't say great, but I think Todd is a good offensive mind, and I think he puts together schemes. The issue that I have had with him over the last 2 seasons is, to your point about the receiving thing, is a lot of Todd Monken's schemes are slow developing, right? They're built around the fact that Lamar can extend any play that he wants to and then opens it. So Lamar was sacked this year the most that he's ever been sacked in his career. Part of that is offensive line, right? I'm not going to put all that on top. My offensive line was trash. Falele still ain't blocked nobody yet. But but I think the other part of that, if you listen to a lot of the press conferences, is Lamar was saying, well, I was waiting for this to open up. I was waiting for this to develop downfield. And by then, the rush was already to him. Todd Monken, this season at least, looked like he can only create an offense for a very mobile quarterback. Because when we had Cooper Rush in there, our offense was non-existent, stagnant, even with that workhorse and Derrick Henry in the background. You know what I mean? Tyler Huntley came, we had a little bit more production, but Tyler Huntley is a Lamar Jr. You know what I mean? So my fear, and Jackson Dart can move, but he's not on Lamar.
He don't have the arm talent of Lamar either.
So that would be my concern with y'all taking Todd. I think he has a good mind, and I think he has a lot of pieces that he can utilize. So it'd be interesting to see. The challenge would be, can you go back to your Georgia days and create an offense for a quarterback that can move a little bit, but that can throw decent and develop that? It's still to be seen.
Yeah.
And I would say that's one of the things when you make a hire like Harbaugh. And he's bringing his offensive coordinator with him. But now it's still that moment of truth of, all right, was it you or was it this? Like, what was it? Because I can tell you right now, I love Jackson Dart, But to me, Lamar Jackson is the heir apparent of Vic, where he can move, but he can throw the ball 60 yards in the air if he has to. Jackson Dart hasn't shown me that yet. And Jackson Dart is not really elusive to the level of a Lamar Jackson and Michael Vick.
Right. Yeah.
He's more, to me, he's more of a scattable type of quarterback where he's a Bo Nix, I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
He gonna put his shoulder down. He may run over a D lineman. He might.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, can he extend a play left laterally? I don't think so. I don't think he's that type of guy. I think he's more Josh Allen than Lamar Jackson. They're two different type of mobile quarterbacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More of a finesse.
Exactly. And that's my concern, because how much of that was Jackson Dart? How much of that was a better offensive line? I don't know. But that's my concern if we bring Monken here. Is like, all right, how much of that is going to come with him? Because now we got another thing to fix where we thought we was past that. You know?
All right, so let's stick there. With the Giants having the 5th pick in the draft, do y'all take offensive lineman to solidify?
I hope not.
Because you got the quarterback, you got the running back. I mean, we can say this all over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you
we need a
the most
receiver,
help?
man.
You need another proven wide receiver.
We need another, we need a Bengals type of receiving core, man. I want a T. Higgins on one side and Jamar. But that's where I'm at, because our defense is going to keep people. If we can hold the ball long enough, our defense is going to keep people under 20, 21 points. I think they can do that.
Yeah, I think y'all got a nice little defense on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Giants definitely have a good defense.
Yeah.
So I think when you look at the NFC, it reminds me of our division, our AFC North. Reason why I say that is because there's nobody dominant. I mean, honestly, there's nobody dominant. The most complete team in our division, the Ravens. The most explosive in our division, the Bengals. The best defense, the Browns. The Steelers just know how to get it done. That's our division. That's
good
it.
Coaching.
We got everybody got a good piece of something. That's it.
Right.
In your division, you talk about the Eagles. Eagles coming off division champs, but they fell off a little bit. You got the Cowboys. Cowboys, they'll always be the Cowboys.
Until Jerry let them go. Yeah.
They are.
And he ain't doing that.
No.
He ain't doing that.
Then you got Washington. I mean, Washington up and coming, but they still middle of the pack.
Yeah.
So why not the Giants? Why not the Giants? That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Y'all got a real opportunity. Y'all got a real opportunity to kind of to get back to the New York Football Giants. You know what I mean? I think like you said, y'all get a nice little piece or two. It could really be something. Because I really do think John is a good fit for y'all. I really do. And I'm not even just saying that because he was our coach. The way he thinks, the way he operates, I think that's good. The way he develops, that's good, because we can say whatever we want to say. Lamar saved his job in 2018. We can say all those things, right? But we cannot take nothing away from the fact that from day one, I was lockstep in defending Lamar. You know what I mean? He was always had his back, and he said he wanted him to show the world that he was actually the best quarterback that the NFL has ever seen. You know what I mean? You cannot take nothing away from the fact that John played a part in developing Lamar.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Agreed.
Lamar developed through Greg Roman, Todd Monken. You know what I mean? But John is he's the common denominator in that. You know what I mean?
And I think mentally he had a lot to do with how Lamar had to mature. I think so.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. So I think when you look at not just the coaching aspect, just how he develops, he could really be good for a young Jackson Dart, a young Scatterbo, you know what I mean? A young Malik Neighbors. He can be good for guys like that who they just need just that little, you know what I mean, that little flick to get them over the hump. You know what I mean? I think y'all got an opportunity, and I'm just glad that it's the NFC and not the AFC.
I hope
there was something going on with Harbs and Monk, with him leaving or staying. So what was that whole riff going on? What was that all about?
Yeah, so I mean, it came out that part of the reason that the Ravens decided to fire John was him being reluctant and not willing to let go of Todd Monken. John made it very clear to Steve Bisciotti, the owner of the Ravens, that he wanted to run it back with the same exact staff that he had. Steve clearly wasn't feeling that. It said, yeah, all right, I don't care about none of that. The one thing we knew was Todd was probably going to be gone regardless. You know, especially once John left, and then he started getting head coaching opportunities and things like that. So it makes a lot of sense to me that John is saying, hey, I want Todd to come with me.
Mhm.
And I think the writing was kind of on the wall. I think that's John's man. John trusts him. John believes in him.
Yeah.
And John is a loyal dude. John is very much a loyal dude
Like that
because
with
when
what was it Greg Roman? He was like
Greg
that with him
Roman
too.
for a
Roman.
long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a long time, longer than we all thought he would. So I think that as long as the Giants can make it make sense for Todd,
Why not?
y'all can about assume that that's going to be, and I think it's a good pairing.
Yeah.
So I do think that's probably going to happen for y'all.
And I'm
Hey, Alex.
okay. Yeah.
I really do. Like the Giants, when I look at them, as you said, your offensive line isn't the strongest, but your defensive line definitely makes up for that. You know,
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we had a hard schedule this year when you really
Mm.
look at it. And I'll be honest with you, we was way more competitive in those first 5 or 6 games than we should have been.
Okay.
We had some
That's
decent
good.
wins this year. One of them games, I was like, man, we actually look like we could do so this year. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, we won games we shouldn't have won at the end of the season. So I'm gonna just leave that alone. We should have lost. We should have lost the Raiders on purpose. We should have lost to the Cowboys on purpose. And if we would have lost the Raiders, we could have still beat the Cowboys and still had number one. But that's neither here nor there. We beat the Chargers and the Eagles. I want to say back to back.
Okay.
And that's when I was like, okay, I think we moving in the right direction now because we had got past the Russell Wilson experiment and like all that was past us.
The moon ball.
And we got Jackson Dart and Scatterboo together and Malik Nabers, even though we only seen them for like I think 2-3 games, I think tops. But man, that was it. Like the defense was coming around. Like I think people forget Brian Burns was, I want to say, second in the league in sacks this year.
Yeah.
You know what I
like
mean?
Burns.
And what's crazy is Dexter Lawrence had an off year this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Thibodeau got hurt. He didn't even get to play with Abdul Carter. You know what I mean? Now, Abdul Carter was in trouble every other week. He was starting the third quarters. And so
he was falling asleep.
But again, that's the stuff that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? And then you had Brian Dable, cursing people out on the sideline and running into the blue tent, like stuff that really just shouldn't happen, especially not on national TV. You know, so the way, like, who's running the team? You in the blue tent.
Yeah.
Like it's, to me, that's child's play. We're one of the solid franchises in the league.
Yeah.
And the one thing we had always been able to say is the Giants have been able to be a franchise of dignity and respect. And I felt like we've lost that for so long. So
yeah,
looking at this season, it took me back to when we had Odell Beckham and he was doing just crazy stuff on the sideline and nobody held him accountable. And I'm like, oh, that ain't good. That ain't good. You know what I mean? And I felt like this year was another year like that, which I think was that's when I think the president of the owners of the team was like, this ain't Giants football. I'm not going to say they don't care if we lose, but if we're going to lose, we're going to lose with some pride and dignity. Right. We ain't going to lose and look like trash on the sideline too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing that was like, nah, this got to change. And we need to pay the money for a real
pay
coach.
The man. Ain't that what they say? Pay the man, right?
All right.
Got to. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I think it's a good transition where you go from Harbs. The Giants will have an opportunity to put a very good product on the field and only get better with the 5th round pick. Now they have the coach that gets the respect around the league by other players and by different owners to be able to run the ship the right way. Before we go, I just want to ask you, Mac, with y'all not having a coach, just like the rest of the 8 other teams that need one, I don't know. Do you get a young buck or do you get somebody already seasoned?
So I think we're gonna get a young buck or somebody kind of right in the middle. I don't even want to say seasoned. So the one thing that I like that Steve and Eric DaCosta are doing is we're interviewing everybody. So if you've seen, the Ravens have had like 12 scheduled interviews. We're literally interviewing everybody, and in some cases, these people are willing. They have already said they are willing to entertain a interview. Like if you look at Brian Flores, the Vikings head coach said that he fully expected that Brian Flores will be back unless he gets a head coaching position.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, Brian Flores has just accepted a couple defensive coordinator interviews.
Yeah.
And chose not to sign the extension with the Vikings. So some of these people that are going out for head coaches are willing to take some coordinator positions. I think that the Ravens are going to go somewhere along the lines of, I think we're going to kind of mix and match and plug and play based off of what people are saying. So I don't think this is what's going to happen, but I'm just kind of painting a picture. I think the Ravens are going to go somewhere like a Joey Mentor as a head coach.
Yeah.
Joey Mentor as a head coach, Mike McDaniel as an offensive coordinator, or Brian Flores as a defensive coordinator. Like, it's going to be some crazy thing like that, as long as they're all willing to work with each other. I think some of these people have some good relationships with each other that I think it'll work out. When you look at Mentor, right? Mentor, I think, is going to be one of our top candidates. I'm not sure that's who we're going to
Coming from the
take.
Chargers, right? The defense coordinator for the Chargers, right? Yeah.
Coming from the Chargers, right? Great defensive mind. Did a lot of good work for their defense, but he's used to also work at Michigan.
Yeah.
Works under Jim again, but also when he worked at Michigan, he worked with Mike McDonald,
Yeah, McDonald.
who we let walk away to Seattle. So I could see us grabbing Mentor simply because he's Harbaugh pedigree, working with Jim, but he's also learned from one of the brilliant minds that we wish we would have kept, and Mike McDonald. You know what I mean? I think he fits kind of what we might look for. I'm not sure that's the way that we're gonna go, but I could see us going somewhere like that. Definitely wouldn't be surprised, though I will say this, I would not be surprised if we end up getting McDaniel as an offensive coordinator.
Well, I hope y'all don't get Brian Flores, because I've wanted him in New York since
Well, what you gonna do with Flores now? Your pieces are set.
I want to be a defensive coordinator for us, man.
Y'all got your defensive coordinator.
I wanted him to be the coach when we got Dable.
Yeah,
I don't think he gets another head coaching job. I mean, I like him a lot. I like Flores. Even when he was in Pittsburgh, he was able to do some things, and I like how the Roonies kind of took him in just to let him keep coaching. You know what I mean? And then he went back to Minnesota. But I just it's a lot out there. I'm looking forward to this offseason. This is one of those
Gonna be a good one.
This is one of those weird off seasons where back in the day you would just be like, all right, everybody's set. You know, you got all kind of storylines, and we'll jump on them later. But is Tua gonna be in Miami? Is Murray Cardinals? Like, there's so many storylines out here this year, and it's like, wow, it's intriguing. But Alex, I'm gonna close with you.
Yes.
This is your squad. You got a new coach, possible a new OC. You got a lot of pieces in places. What you see, man? You feeling good?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it ain't like, y'all gotta remember, we at rock bottom. Like, we looking to be competitive at this point. Like, we're not looking for them to win a Super Bowl next year. If we're competing for a playoff spot next year, I think everybody will be happy. That's a win. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at. I'm like, I'm shooting for a 10-win season. Honestly, I'm shooting for a 9-win season. We'll go from there, because honestly, I think 9 wins is gonna be competitive in the NFC East next year. I really do think. But I think one thing people got to look at, the NFL is known for this, to go from last to first in 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
And
What they
that's
call it,
the
worst
thing
to
that's in the
first.
bet. Worst to first in 1 year. And I think we can be that type of team, because our record on close games is there from this year's. I mean, that's all I'm looking for. That's it.
I think they'll be competitive.
I think they'd be competitive. All right. I think so too. As we started off with the show, why not the Giants? You know, why not the Giants? You know what I mean? But hey, appreciate you guys stopping through. And as the season kicks off and the more news we get about that NFC and the AFC, we'll get you guys on. Appreciate it.
Sir.
Absolutely, baby.
All right.